Everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. I got 2 runs in me tonight. That's enough to get us to 20. I'd be stoked. SSM1, VLB7. Sounds like a video codec you'd use in like 1998 to port something from your Sony DivX camera to your real player PC. They forgot to, I'd like to call you, Edmund. Edmund, can I pick up the red telephone? You forgot something. Forgot to put enemies on this floor. There appear to be no enemies. I've been given a floor. Oh, okay, wait. There's something that creates enemies. By the way, stats are good. HP is obviously lovely. All we need is an orbital. And, like, orbital pause button is a very tried, tested, and true setup for victory. Mind you, we did just take something that replaces the pause button. This is a better item, but with a less powerful assortment of synergies associated with it. So, we gotta, you know, acknowledge the good and the bad. Secret? No secret. Secret? Perhaps? What do you got for me? Alright. No. You don't get to blow up in my face, okay? And there is an orbital. Okay, so honestly, I'm as surprised as anybody. But I think we're going to go back for the pause button. This was really like the only situation in which I would have done things this way. But it's definitely like the safest and sanest choice. I think, at least. The other thing is that it's a lot easier to get to the point where you can use pause button in every room versus using Book of Shadows every room. All we need is one enabler to help us out in that department. So we're not quite there yet, obviously. We need to get 9-volt AAA battery would also work. Nun's Habit wouldn't, but, you know, you get the idea. There's a lot of potential options here. This should be our secret room, then. I'm willing to spend a bomb on it. Whether or not I should be, definitely a valuable question. But hey, you know what? That gives us arcade chances. That might prove to be worth its weight in gold. For now, though, I'm pretty happy with where we stand. It is a Friday, TGIF, busy week behind me, and eager to get on with the weekend here, honestly. Just a lot of stuff on the go right now. Despite it being the fall season, you know, Kate and I are likely moving soon, so we're getting stuff sorted for that. I got family visiting in just a couple of months. Getting stuff sorted for that. Coming up to the holiday season at the end of the year. Getting stuff sorted for that, brother. You know how it goes. And once you're an adult, this is very adult-splainy, I'll admit. Boomer Core's favorite genre of commentary. Don't bad trip me. I'm just begging you. Thank you. Once you get to be an adult, there is no such thing as a non-busy season. Honestly, last time I had a non-busy season, I mean, I had, you know, summer vacations when I was younger, obviously, but I don't know, June and July, the dog days of late sunsets and long Pokemon Go walks. I miss it. I think a lot of boomers, they take pride in not taking enough personal time. That's not the case for me. I saw a tweet. This is like 5 years ago. You know, there's an endless debate over, you know, housing, essentially, is what it comes down to. Got him. And, you know, a house now, at least in Vancouver, is like, you know, roughly $1 million. It's disgusting. But whenever people are like, maybe houses should be cheaper, there's always somebody that comes out of the woodwork. And this time, I saw a lady, she was in like her 60s, and she's like, maybe if they stopped going to the movies so much, millennials would be able to afford $1 million house. I didn't leave my house to go to the movies for over a decade, and that's how I was able to make my housing purchase. Everybody's like, lady, how old are you? You think the biggest expense in people's lives is that they're going to the movies? Are you insane? I want to see a movie's like $12. I'm not saying it's... Sorry, it's okay. It's not, I'm not saying it's not expensive, but like, come on. You know how many movies you gotta see to make up the difference between, you know, it's not really fair because of inflation, but the difference between the price of a house when you bought it versus the price of a house now, factoring in, you know, the income adjustments that you would have to make over there. It's like, you'd have to go see like 10,000 movies. Anyway, the point is, she's wrong, I'm right. Top right, by the way. Where was I going with this? Oh, it's the boomer, the boomer ideal is always like, I sacrificed more, I struggled harder, you wouldn't understand. All you gotta do is pull yourself up by your freaking bootstraps, dude. It's disingenuous. Take it from somebody en route to being a boomer. 9 lives? No 9 lives. Alges? No alges. Okay. Alges, the greatest rune for you. You guys know I'll Be by Edwin McCain? I'll be Massachusetts. Yeah. I'll be the greatest ruin of your life. We should not be willfully yeeting HP here. Ghost baby. Da -na 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 -da -da. Ghost baby. Da -na -na -da. You can tell, you know, this is a video I'm recording a little later in the day. Brain's getting a little mushy. There's good optics on this present run, though. We didn't get great stuff from the deal with the devil, to be honest with you, and I'm not a huge fan of that. However, we got very good stuff from this arcade, assuming we don't die in the process of what we're trying to do here. Ooh, don't shoot that, please. Just buy it. Hope for red candle's really pretty sweet, but it's not what we're going for, unfortunately. Whether or not we should be spending in this context. Oh, come on. All because I walked into a key, huh? Alright, here's the thing. The pea-brain approach to this situation is to take red candle and let that go. I could definitely see myself doing that in the past. The real big brain approach is just build HP, recognize that, you know, except for, you know, once every other room, you're totally fine. Okay, well, that's not how you're supposed to use the item, but that's fine. All you gotta do is use pause button when you get the chance. It's another spacebar item that I would love to have with like a backpack in context, but not in the cards for us at the present moment. We will, at some point in the future, need to pick up a better series of passive items. We're getting a lot of duplicate actives. Most of our items thus far have been duplicate actives. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been nice. It's straight up been a pretty darn good way for us to live our lives so far. And we've got a synergy now that you can hang your hat on. If you hang your hat, I don't know, you might just put it up on a, you know, we put ours on like a coat rack sort of thing. That's creep, huh? My mistake. Get him? Get him? This run, what I'm trying to say, basically, without saying it directly, is that it's a win if we accept the defensive aspects of it. If we don't accept the defensive aspects, we could accidentally yeet ourselves into the stratosphere. But if we accept and embrace those aspects, and I do kind of want car battery, I think it could pay dividends for us here. If we do accept that defensive liability, I think we've got very, very little to worry about. All we need to do is eventually at some point pivot the run. Ooh, hello. Still okay. At some point we're just gonna pivot the run from using our orbital to hopefully just not having to use our orbital, or alternatively we're gonna pivot our run from using our orbital every other room to using our orbital every room. Or on more rooms than previously was thought possible, you know? 9-volt jumper cables. I guess car battery isn't really what we're looking for. AAA battery. Mentioned it many times. If you play your cards right, how to jump gives you access to all of these. If you don't play your cards right, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. I don't even, like, for me, it doesn't even interest me that much to do this. And I'm just going to level with you. I'm just going to spend a key to come back. Even though I need a key for the item room, I'm not willing to make that trip. Book of Revelations is also, it's up there. I've had to make some fairly difficult choices, to be honest. I don't know. Getting rid of Book of Shadows for the pause button once we got an orbital on the first floor was relatively easy. It was a sensible decision most people would have made in the same situation, I think. Getting rid of pause button to take Book of Revelations. Now we're talking about something in a whole different ballpark. It's not even the same sport. It's like bocce. You know, lawn bowling. Heard of it, sweetheart? We used to have a bocce ball set. You know, I used to live in the country, eat a lot of peaches, etc., etc. Mentioned it many times. I really appreciate Dogtooth on this one, honestly. It's a great help in the damage department. Also, don't mind being able to find secret rooms. When you live in the country, yeah, I know you eat a lot of peaches. No, when you live in the country, you got a lawn. When you got a lawn, you do lawn-related stuff. Lawn bowling, croquet, etc., etc. Look, I didn't grow up silver spoon in hand. We played croquet. It wasn't like... I was stunned to see in the movies that croquet was something that was like, you know, at an English garden party you play. When I played croquet, it was like with my grandparents. Nobody was wearing Ralph Lauren. My grandpa didn't even have a shirt on. Copper-tinted chest hair just flapping in the wind. The chest hair, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Chest hair is blowing in the wind. Got him. Anyway, what was I talking about? On top of that, our lawn was not manicured. You know, it was uneven. There were dirt clods all over it. You play croquet is like playing miniature golf. Okay, this has gotten very spicy very quickly. There were built-in hazards is what I was trying to say. Give me this, please. And you know what? I will open that. I want Spirit Hearts to, okay, maximize our chance to deal with the devil. That's fine. No risk, no reward, brother. Wait it out and be smart on this one. Don't walk into any enemies. I think this does run the risk of being a little spooky here. This run, look, I'll tell you statistically, we haven't exactly stayed super strong. If you look at the items, you might think of being disingenuous. It's not really the case. I think this is legitimately... I think we just gotta actually bite the bullet on this one. Is legitimately a tough run. Statistically, we're like at average. I wouldn't feel comfortable saying below average. Like Bookworm, 9 rate of fire, roughly 4.5 damage. Definitely not gonna say that it's unwinnable. That's just ridiculous. But we're not at the point where you're like, oh, we can just coast. Shouldn't be giving you the chest hair anecdotes right now. We should save those for a little bit later. There was no dog sound on that room. There was on that final room there, though. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, there actually is on that room, but because things are moving around here, as a result of whatever curse this is. It's a little touchy. Just the slightest bit touchy. It's okay. It's okay. I'm telling you, there's a deal with the devil waiting to come out on this run. All we gotta do is tease it. No consumable. This is definitely like one of the greatest rooms to be doing something along these lines. Don't rush me, okay? Thank you. I did. It's a risk. Okay, we've made a mistake. Done a good job recovering from that mistake. Keep moving. We're sitting on the razor's edge right now. Okay, shard of glass. I'm gonna look it up. This is how you know I'm serious about the game right now. Shard of glass. Chance to drop a red heart upon taking damage. I'm not comfortable using our only per throw rune to yeet that, so I'm just not gonna do it. We're gonna try this. We actually did get the big payout. We're gonna see what this entails. Okay, it's not an amazing pickup necessarily, and we spent a lot to get there, but we're now at full HP. It's a little bit of confidence re-enters the ecosystem right now. This is you know, I'm really glad that we've had some somewhat touchy runs in advance of this one, because now I'm like, I wouldn't ever suggest this run is like, oh, it's locked in stone, we got it easily. But on the other hand, I'm like, compared to some of the runs we've had, this is just like, as long as you have patience, there's probably close to a 100% chance you make it. But this floor does carry a little bit more weight than average, for sure. But it's just water weight, it's training for amateur strongman events. You wouldn't understand, Mom. It's about the pleasure a man can only get by lifting a 100 kilogram log over his head. Okay, mega fatty. By the way, I cannot lift a 100 kilogram log over my head. Maybe a 70 kilogram log, but I don't know. I've never used the implement. Okay. Got him. Divorce papers, actually potentially extremely good here. You're not Krampus, which is beautiful news. I think I'm going to reroll you, and we're swinging for the fences here. Dude, I'm going to take it. It is dicey, don't get me wrong. It's real dicey. But we have defense. What we really need is some better offense. Or to lean so far into the defense aspect that, you know, we could just coast on that to win. But trust me, I also appreciate the fact that things are a lot better for us now. A Boneheart is also resilient, so I think we're tankier than we look right now. Get him. Alright. So we really excel on multiple stage runes like that. Theoretically. Anyway, it's a Friday. I'm not like those other boomers. I'm a cool boomer. I take no pleasure in the, in taking too little free time. You know, life is, life's about living. For me. Even though I refuse to go skydiving under any circumstances, life's still about living. You know, it's about enjoying yourself, finding fulfillment, challenging yourself in productive ways, in order to grow as a human being and, you know, lead to good aggregate experiences and, you know, leave behind some kind of legacy that lasts longer than you do as well. It's not about, hey, I never took a vacation, that way I could buy a house that was 65 square feet larger than I could otherwise afford. You can't take those 65 square feet with you. Now, of course, maybe you're saying it's easy for you to say, NL. You're doing okay? It's true? It is true. I mean, you gotta sacrifice what you gotta sacrifice to get what you want, I suppose. I'm not talking about people working 2 jobs to make sure they can, you know, feed their children. I'm talking about people who are like, I already make a good salary. I just have a terrible work-life balance because I don't want to ever be at home. You know, that's the people where I'm like, yeah, you could have just not gotten the games room. And think about all the free time you'd have. What's worth more to you, the existence of a billiards table? Or, you know, another 10 hours. Why would I use pause button here? Or another 10 hours at home. I don't know. The billiards table might be worth more to you. Some of my houses that I've lived in, my dad's had a pool table. It was like his lifelong dream to get a pool table in our house. We got one for like 5 years. He used it all the time. And then when my parents moved again, they're like, we sold the pool table. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. You just, I guess even if you love something like that, you just kind of get sick of it. And I'm sure like the other thing is, because I had friends growing up who had pool tables in their house. Every time you'd come over, you're like, dude, we gotta play some pool. And they're like, yeah. You know? I'm sure it gets annoying if you're the person whose family has a pool table in your house. You know, it's one of those things you're like, yeah, it's really cool, but I've already played, you know, 200 hours of it. I'm sick of this garbage. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on your passion for billiards. It's like if you had an arcade cabinet. Like when I was probably like a young adult / teenager, I was like, man, it'd be so cool if I grew up and I had like a Donkey Kong arcade cabinet. Realistically, I'm not even that good at Donkey Kong. I'm no Billy Mitchell, I'm no Steve Wiebe, let me put it that way. But, you know, I know what I'm doing to some extent. I think you just get sick of it like real soon. I think you would get over it real quick. Let's put it that way. I think. The only thing, to be honest, I don't even want, like, if I was gonna get an arcade cabinet, I wouldn't even want a good game. I would want, like, I don't mean to insult the good name of NBA Jam Tournament Edition by suggesting it's not a good game. But what I mean is I don't want, like, Galaga. I want, like, a party game you could actually bust out and kind of play replayably. NHL Stanley Cup Challenge or something like that. Whatever it was. Center Ice, I think. It was the NBA Jam for hockey from the 1990s, aka the Golden Age. Okay. Matchbook I'm fine with. Honestly, you can see for yourself. We're going a little slow, but we're rolling. The run basically, meet the cop that can't be stopped, essentially, is where we're at right here. Still, you're not going to love what I'm saying here, but a little bit light in the damage department, and not fully set in the survival department. But we got another couple of floors to manifest those dreams into existence. I mean, you can see for yourself. Orbital, even when we're not using pause button, is like by far our best damage dealer. I don't know what kind of cool stuff I'd like, because I kind of see, like, a pool is a little bit different, but I kind of see, like, you know, ping pong table, foosball table, because we had in my university house from sophomore year onwards, aka second year, we went, like, 7sies on a combination air hockey foosball table, and it was decent, don't get me wrong, but we got sick of it pretty fast. I mean, you could play like a couple dozen hours of foosball, but after a while, you're like, I just kind of want to sit down. A pool is like different. I'm not saying you wouldn't get sick of swimming, but there's an exercise component there as well, right? I mean, I guess on a literal level, there is an exercise component with foosball, but, you know, it's a little bit of a different story. You're not gonna... It's something you can do solitarily as well. I mean, you could practice foosballs in solitary, but it's not really like... Or in solitude, I should say. Solitary means something different there. You could practice foosball in solitude. I don't need to justify myself, okay? I own the foosball table. Stop trying to talk up foosball to me. I know the strats, okay? Ooh, I really thought we could just squeeze. We were doing such a good job up to that point. Useless. Send them, and we're good. It was much better. You might be saying, what happened to that foosball table when you moved? I have no idea. That's how much we all cared about the foosball table when we moved out. I had no clue whatsoever what happened to that foosball table. I don't know if one of my housemates took it and sold it on Craigslist. I do not care. Honestly, I respect the hustle. Not really. I mean, we went 7s on that. I'm just saying. In theory, I would love to be the kind of person who says I respect the hustle in that situation when I'm waiting on my, you know, $15. Jeffrey. Anyway. Where was I going? I don't know. We have this conversation on the NLSS, you know, now and then. Home theater system, I think, is like a nice millionaire-style home theater system would be really cool. But, you know, I watch... This is like sacrilege. Like, Christopher Nolan is going to block me on Twitter for saying this. That's okay. I don't follow him anyway, so no big loss. But I watch a lot of movies on my phone, just holding it at like a 30-degree angle, pitched in bed. So, like... I'm not saying a home theater system wouldn't bring the house down. And if you got more than one person watching the movie, it's kind of a different story. But I'm not that anal about the movie-going experience. I'm a very easy man, you know, to be honest with you. You can pretty much just, if you give me food and you give me reasonable, clean shelter with a degree of privacy, I'm pretty happy, to be honest. I don't worry about all that other stuff most of the time. Pool would be cool, though. It would, like, I mean, in a home gym would be nice as well. But we're talking about pipe dreams in Vancouver here. Yeah, next you want to, hey, make sure you got an extra room for my solid gold bars, please. You know what I mean, Tomo? He's napping. He's like, don't bother. I'm a little surprised that we don't have Whore of Babylon, but I guess you still need to lose half of your bone heart in order to make it so. Help. Small rock, thank you. It's very nice. It's very nice. It's very, very nice. Pretty fly. Okay. Do you see how quickly, by the way, this run started to actually get the real pop-off status? We're just slightly, oh, that's fine. Kind of a little, but not much, under the gun defensively. But apart from that, we're loving it, dude. Blast assist. I honestly think we're better off not using pause button here. Once you get him past this point, it's pretty easy. I'm not gonna take placenta. I think I'd rather. Well, I don't know. There's a case to be made, I suppose. You know what really did a number on this run? Well, that was extremely dumb. In a good way. Biohazard, which I've now forgotten the name of, but one of them is like pandemic or infection. And then the other one is toxic shock syndrome. Either way. Whatever the one that we have is... It's done great work for us. Enemies starting with a little bit of poison attached to them makes them easier to kill. Easier to kill. Harder for them to kill us. Harder for them to kill us. Bob's your uncle. Easiest wins we've ever had in our lives. We'll try the pill. That was close. Honestly, I'm feeling real nice about this situation right here. I think Isaac has been somewhat merciful, but also somewhat scary. Like an angel or like a demon. You can meet me by Grubb's Tavern to find out where the treasure is hidden. These are ancient viral videos. And by ancient viral videos, I mean sketches from comedy shows that made it online. Kids these days don't understand. You see a sketch you like on Saturday Night Live? Saturday night? 15 minutes later, go online. NBC Universal. You can watch your favorite sketches from that very show online over again. Back in the day, you wanted to find your favorite clip from Saturday Night Live or Mad TV, you'd have to go to YouTube and just hope that you find it. It would have a title like, haha, funniest sketch ever, can I have your number? And then, you know, it wouldn't even be titled anything related to the sketch at all. You tell your friends about the video. Yo, have you seen funniest sketch ever? Wait, which one? Can I have your number? Or the one where the landlord's a baby? And you'd be like, baby landlord, dude. Can I have your number is prosaic. I guess, why wouldn't we? That's the easy answer on that one. We don't need shovel for sure. That was how we discovered things back in the day. There's like, I mean, YouTube is very strange. There's like a whole, this is obviously, I recognize pot calling the kettle black sort of situation, so this is not punching down at all. It's just the reality of the situation. A lot of people have made careers out of accidentally having a viral video from like 2010. Where basically it was just like, I slipped. And then for whatever reason, you know, your video is like you just walking and then you step on a Lego and you go, whoa, whoa, whoa. 15 million views. 10 years later, you're at VidCon. You're giving a talk. How to grow your audience. It's a very bizarre industry where just one thing like that, people will email you and be like, you've changed my life. When I've watched your video, I slipped LOL for the first time. I was in a very dark place, and I'm not mocking those messages for the record. Anything that gets you through the dark place is a good thing. You know, sometimes you're talking to the guy crying like every sports movie. I'm not gonna mock any other emotion on planet Earth. Anytime the underdog wins a game of baseball, I'm like, oh my god, it's so inspiring. Back in the day, videos were just called like funny.mp4. You're like 15 million views, and then it's a dog wearing a human shirt with a man's arms through the sleeves, cutting like a piece of meat and then feeding it to the dog. That was the state of comedy. And honestly, I wish we could go back. Alright, you know, I didn't really want to D6 the pause button, but perhaps the time has come. I think we want to go this way. Pause button, it did good work for us. This win belongs to pause button. It just so happens that this is like the unfortunate situation where you get traded off of a Stanley Cup contender that you've been on for like years. But hey man, it's as simple as this, my friend, you know, Patrick Marlowe. You were a pivotal part of the organization. As far as I'm concerned, the cup win is going to belong to everybody that's played on the team recently, not just the people who played on the team this year. I understand that's not how it works, but simultaneously, you know, on a spiritual level, we wouldn't have been able to get to this point were it not for the existence of pause button. So big ups to pause button. I really appreciate. Couldn't have done it without you. Now go get mired in salary cap, isolation, long-term injury reserve. We're gonna go win the Stanley Cup. Quinn Hughes, Conn Smythe Trophy winner. Book it. Book it. Nah, don't book it. That's a terrible bet. Unless... I'm not even going to that room. Go ahead. Go ahead, hit me. Stop trying to hit me and hit me. This is a very nice, safe win. Wasn't always 100% in the bag, but we had the parameters here, you know? It's like looking at your 23andMe, and you're like, oh, my mom's a world champion high jumper, and my dad's a world champion pole vaulter, and 23andMe is like, just go to the Olympics, dude. But you're like, I'm 9. You're like, yeah, wait 5 years. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!